Good morning, students. This is Sila Tiwari here, going to take one of your beautiful poems, and I hope all of you will enjoy the poem. The poem is The Kite. It is composed by Hary Behn. All of you like kites. All of you like to fly them. All of you like to see them. Many of you love passing your time flying them in the sky and getting a lot of entertainment. But how do they look? The poet has given a beautiful picture of how these kites look in the sky. What happens when these kites are plucked? When they get stuck in the trees, in the branches of the trees, or in the houses? How people feel, how especially the children who fly the kites feel when these kites are stuck in the trees and are torn. So let's read the poem first. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. With a dive and a dip, it snaps its tail, then soars like a ship with only a sail. As over tides of wind it rides, climbs to the crest of a gust and pulls, then seems to rest as wind falls. When a string goes slack, you wind it back and run until a new breeze blows, and its wings fill and up it goes. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new, but a raggeder thing you never will see when it flaps a string in the top of a tree. So, my dear children, let us first see the difficult words over here. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. How bright, how colorful a kite looks when it flies in the sky. Especially when you buy it, when it's absolutely new. It looks very lovely when it flies. With a dive and a dip, it snaps its tail. You would have seen variety of kites. But kites do have tails. You have met also a kite, and you would have seen without a tail, you cannot imagine about a kite. So, it snaps its tail when it moves up. It dives down, diving in water and taking a dip. Here the kite dives in the where? From a top. It dives down in the surrounding. And again when you pull it up, it goes up. Then soars like a ship. A sort of sound comes when you just pull it in the air, and it starts soaring, soaring like a ship. It just starts moving like a ship with only a sail. Very smoothly it sails in the sky. As over tides of wind it rides. It seems to ride on the tides of the wind. The winds have got tides, and without wind, it is very slow. Its movement increases when you wind up, and it seems to ride on the tide of the wind. Climbs to the crest, goes top of a gust and pulls. When it goes up, you pull it, and then again it gets pressure of the wind, and it seems to rest. After going to a distance, after moving to a distance, it seems to rest. When a string goes slack, you wind it back. Slack is loose. When the string is loose, then again you pull it and you wind it up. and run until a new breeze blows. You start running to give pressure to the kite, pressure of the wind, until a new breeze blows. And then you see the ship. It starts moving up in the air, getting the pressure of the wind. And that's why children run with the kites. When they do not get up, when there is no wind, when there is no tide of wind, you yourself try to give a pressure to the kite so that it moves up, and its wings fill and up it goes. Again, the wings of the kite get a lot of pressure of the wind, and the kite moves up. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new, but a raggeder thing you never will see when it flaps on a string in the top of a tree. Raggeder. What do we find here? The worst thing is that when the kite is caught or trapped on some branch of a tree or on a house or somewhere where it just starts moving, it's just flapping, but it doesn't come out. You try hard and hard by pulling the string to remove the kite from the place where it gets stuck, but it keeps on flapping and it does not come out. How pathetic is that situation? The children who play the kites, they do not want to put themselves in this situation. It's very bad for them, because the kite gets destroyed. You do not get it back. And that's why the poet says it's a raggeder thing. So all the words are so simple, easy to understand. Okay? Gust is the pressure of the wind. Crest is the topmost point where it rests after moving to a distance. And then tides are the tides of the wind. And soaring is kind of, then soars, makes noises, okay, like a ship. Then what else we see? See the comparison that is made, soaring of a kite, soaring of a ship, compared with that of a soaring of a ship. Like a ship, the kite moves like a ship. So what is like here? Like refers to shows simile here, use of simile. Then what else we see? Dive and dip, DD, alliteration, repetition of the word dive. Then you see similar kind of word, dip, DD. The alphabet D is repeated here. Then we see the question and answers from this particular poem. Let us come to the question and answer from the poem. What questions are given here? You can see, list out the action words in the poem. What are the action words? Two are clear here. Given: dive, dip, snaps. What else? What are the other action words? Let us find out. Dive, dip, yes. With a dive and a dip is snaps. Snaps also is an action word. Snaps. Then soars like a ship. Soar. Then what else we can see here? Rides, action word. Then climbs, action word. Then you see, find out the action words here. You wind it, wind also. Wind is noun, but winding is again an action word. So these are the action words. Note them down. Action words are the verbs. Action words are the verbs. Find out the meanings of these words. You also have to find out the meaning of these words. So today's work is that you find out the meanings of the words from the dictionary, okay, and note them down in your copy. Then again we see the second question over here. Read these lines from the poem. Then soars like a ship with only a sail. The movement of the tailless kite is compared to a ship with a sail. This is called a simile. Can you suggest what or who the following action may be compared to? He runs like a rabbit. He eats like, okay, a rabbit runs very fast. So you can call it as he runs like a rabbit or a kangaroo. Then he eats like a, okay, like a fox, or he eats like a parrot, very less. She sings like a nightingale, like, okay, she sings like Lata Mangeshkar. It shines like a star. It shines like sun. It flies like a bird. So you can write this, answer the questions like this. Then there is another question here. Question number 3. Try to make a kite with your friends. Collect the things required such as color, paper, newspaper, thread, glue, a thin stick can be bent. After making the kite, see if you can fly it in the sky or not. So this is a homework that you have to do. Collect the colorful papers or whatever the things you require for making a kite and make a beautiful kite and show it to the whole class. Thank you. This much for today. Thank you very, very much. I hope you would have enjoyed it.